What is honor? No, really, what is it? The more I think about it, the more I realize that, with only an exception or two, honor is whatever you make of it, a completely subjective thing. Consider the dictionary definition of the word: honesty, fairness, or integrity in one's beliefs and actions. Now, this is actually a definition which I can get behind. To be perfectly honest, I believe in all of these things. There are precious few things about which I am willing to be false. Ask anybody who knows me at all well, and they'll tell you that I'm honest to a fault, bloody nearly to the point of being tactless. And what is tact, if not a relatively benign dishonesty? Fairness is important to me. I've gotten the short end enough times in my life, and have enough empathy that I don't want anybody else to get it either. On integrity, I am somewhat flexible if the situation demands it, but I'll never surrender it needlessly. If you find me sacrificing my integrity, it's usually to my own detriment in order to help others, or because I'd rather be pragmatic than dogmatic. In fact, that is one of the very relative points here. While I quite dislike religious faith, probably my least favorite aspect of religion is dogma. And some people can get quite dogmatic about their honor, which is strange for such a subjective concept. Not everybody considers the same things honorable, just as not everybody believes in the same holy text, yet people can be so damned snarky about their honor when they feel it's been impugned. Mind you, the relevant definition of honor in this case may instead be high respect, as for worth, merit, or rank. When someone feels they have been given insufficient respect, or that they've violated some code they're expected to follow, they often describe it as a stain upon their honor. Though often the transgression is one of the first definition, a breach of honesty, fairness, or integrity by one party, and thus feels some invisible balance has been thrown off kilter and must be corrected. In fact, one of the groups most dogmatic about honor that I've ever encountered is sci-fi nerds. No joke. Whether it's some military tradition, samurai code, or Klingon honor, the sheer number of sci-fi nuts I've seen go uber dogmatic about some aspect in their fiction of choice would fill several sports stadiums. Much as I'm a sci-fi nerd myself, this is one place in which I differ from my fellows. I tend to look for ways around the established dogma, or to find where it fails, as evidenced in that video I did about the Force a little while ago. I like to think of it as critical examination of the things I'm a fan of. But hey, I recently went through the entirety of Star Trek The Next Generation as research for my webcomic, which you should all be reading, by the way, link in the sidebar, and the sheer number of times I wanted to strangle Worf because he got some bug up his keister about how a Klingon is supposed to behave, the number of duels he fought, or just how much harder upon himself he made life because of his stupid Klingon honor. And I was left thinking that there is most definitely such a thing as too damn much honor. And a truly depressing number of my sci-fi fan fellows tend to try to live their lives as if they were Klingon or Jedi or whatever, basing their behavior on a fictional race or faction of the fictional code they live by. Dogmatic to the core, many of them. So given that honor is much like a dogma, a code to follow, and it's subjective in that it tends to vary from person to person, it seems to me that, much like morality, honor is something which absolutely must be flexible to circumstances. As with morality, ask yourself if you hurt anybody. Ask whether you did something to which someone else had an objection. And if the answer is no, then I say you were perfectly honorable and moral, even if you broke some personal code of yours or society's. So you stretched or broke a rule, violated a value. If it was in a good cause and nobody was hurt, then where's the problem, really? Honor is all well and good to have. We all have it to some degree. But when it becomes dogmatic and inflexible, it becomes detrimental, even dangerous. Please, keep that in mind.